on a not so very special year-end celebration episode of the Sports Mules, we discuss the college football playoffs, sweating through our favorite hoodies like we have malaria, are Kinder Buenos the new cocaine? And we all listen to Eric make a podcast where he tries to entertain one person for 3 minutes who doesn't even like the show, and then waste everybody else's time for the next 30. Wake up, Mules Nation. Time to dig in. Welcome to the Season 1 finale of the Sports Mules. As always, I am your horrible, terrible tour guide through the sports world, Eric Heiner. However you're listening, whenever you're listening, thank you for making this show a part of your day. We are recording our 12th episode, which is 11 and a half more episodes than anybody ever really wanted or asked for. But here we are. What a great time to be alive. You guys have absolutely no idea how many times I've had to record this fucking intro. Like, what was that, 30 seconds? You know how many times I've had done that? It's insane. I can't use words. I either had too much coffee or not enough coffee this morning. I'm not sure how it works for me, but either way, I finally got this part out, so I should probably stop before I screw this up and have to do it all over again. But I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season, whether you're religious or not, whatever you did. I hope the fat man was happy and good to everybody's family and yourself. Whether you were out and about, buying last-minute gifts on Christmas Eve for some unknown reason, or, just having fun with friends and family, playing mildly inappropriate games in front of minors, whatever it happens to be. I hope you guys had a good time. I've had a very strange up and down week and a half, 10 days, 2 weeks, year, 47 years, whatever. But I hope you guys have had a good time and enjoyed yourself, like I said. It seems, holiday season, it's always a big time for multitasking too, right? Because you're working and you're finishing up work, and then you're going to parties, and you got to buy gifts, and then you got to wrap gifts, and then you find out I don't have any tape, and then you can't remember where you put any of the boxes, and it just becomes a lot. And so people who are really good at multitasking, kudos to you, because it really is a rare and underappreciated ability to have. So I hope you got everything done in time. It's the end of the year, and I really wanted to end this year. I really wanted to end 2023 the way I started it, just having no clue of what's going on or where I am or what future direction I should go in. But hey, here we are. So, in worst case scenario, just sit back, relax, put on some comfy clothes, right? Put on some comfy pants. We've discussed that before, sleeping in your car with some comfy pants. Just get in the back seat with your comfy pants. And also, put on, a new favorite hoodie that hopefully isn't stolen by anyone. Wink. Just relax. Hopefully you don't get super crazy sick out of nowhere and start sweating through all of your clothes like you have malaria. Or, outbreak is your patient one. But as long as you're okay now, that's what really matters. But yeah, it's just been a very long year. It's been a long year, and we've reached the end. So we should all be proud about that. And, sometimes you just, if you have to, get away. Take a little vacation. And just reset yourself. I've looked at some few places to just get away for a little bit, maybe a long weekend, maybe a week. I do have 9 weeks of PTO. I do have to use at some point. But yeah, just get away. I've been thinking about Arizona. Get out there. You're kind of out in the desert. You can just kind of let yourself, let your mind go for a little bit. Maybe if you luck out, you come across a tribe and maybe get some peyote and just zone out from Earth for a little bit. And, you get out there, you get some sun, you get some heat. It's a dry heat, so it's okay. And so maybe Arizona. And it's got great initials, AZ. Who doesn't love those initials? So we'll get into everything here in a little bit. But again, I hope you guys did have a good holiday. Hope you guys are ready for the new year. Be smart, be safe, and just, enjoy yourselves and be thankful for the time with the people that you have time with. because it can be scary sometimes. It can be scary. It's not as scary as laying in your bed and in the middle of the night hearing your cat get sick, or the realization that you have to find your birth certificate, that you have no idea where it is, if you have it, if it exists. Do I exist? I don't know. But some of those things are super terrifying. But we'll get into the show here in a second. I'm trying to do a better job this week. My PR rep did not like the last episode, so I have to do better, and I will do better. Right? We take feedback and criticism here. It's okay. It's how we get better. So we'll do our best now to get going in the right direction. So if anybody who wants to hear sports, get ready. For all of you who want to go take a nap, well, I guess also get ready. So here we go. So I think I realized to some extent what might have been my problem starting off this show, right? I won't say I wasn't mentally prepared, because I'm never really mentally prepared. But I didn't have, my Kickstarters here, so I'm sure you can hear that. So I didn't have any of my Kinder Buenos, so I'm going to fire one of these in here real quick. I'm like Popeye in my spinach, except it's not healthy, and it's a Kinder Bueno. Not a sponsor yet, wink. And if you don't like me hearing, or for you, well, I hope you like me hearing. I like me hearing. But if you don't like hearing me eat, I don't really care. Again, it's my program, and it's just some more ASMR for you. So, but yes. So there's my, God, I wish they'd sponsor me. I would eat these until I was diabetic, and then ate more, and then fully came out of being diabetic to go back into it. Damn, they're good. Anyway, so the real reason none of us are not here to listen to me is college football playoffs, right? There's a lot of other things going on in the sports world, but end of the year, this is all anybody really cares about, right? We still got a couple more weeks before we got the NFL playoffs to start. Some teams are having struggles, whatever. We'll cover that in another episode, maybe. Who knows? But right now, the big focus is, right, it's bowl season, right? This is what matters the most. So the New Year's Six that we have going on, the big matchups, we'll get into the Final Four. We'll get into the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl here briefly. But we'll start off with the rest of the New Year's Six, which traditionally, these have always been the marquee bowl matchups. They're the longest ones or the oldest ones, minus the Sun Bowl. I can't believe that nobody wants to go to El Paso, Texas, in late December, early January. But so these bowl games here, and the Peach Bowl in the last couple of years has really moved up in prominence here. But so we'll cover the other non-playoff bowl games to start off here. So it all kicks off Friday with the Cotton Bowl. We have Missouri and Ohio State. Missouri is getting 3 points, so everybody's looking at this and saying, well, this is kind of a close matchup. And I think everything that has gone on at Ohio State in the last couple weeks, and the transfer portal and people already saying that they're leaving, I understand this matchup being at this level where it is now, right? Basically, it's not push, but it's pretty close, right? And Missouri had a great year, and they were kind of above and beyond what people were expecting from them. It had a super successful year, and, here we go. We make it to the Cotton Bowl, one of the big boys. I still think Ohio State is the better program. Whether or not, with everything that's gone on, if they're the better team right now, I don't know, but I think that they have a deeper bench than Missouri has, right? So if Missouri, right, they have a fantastic year, but if they had lost the amount of people to either transfer portal or preparing for the draft that Ohio State has, I think they would be in a world of trouble. Where Ohio State, it's not great that they can lose all those people. I rhymed, I didn't even try it. that they can lose a number of key players but still be successful because their bench is deeper. So I'm going to go with Ohio State on this one. Here, I'm even gonna circle it. And so we'll check back after on the next episode to see exactly how terrible I am. And I mean picking games terrible, not human being terrible. That's a whole other show. So Cotton Bowl, yeah, I'm going to say Ohio State on that one. That's Friday. And then Saturday, we're treated. We have two big games. We have the Peach Bowl first, which starts at noon, where we have Ole Miss versus Penn State. We've discussed it before, where Ole Miss seems to be one of these that they're always really high and always doing really well in the SEC. But when it comes up to teams that are as good or better than them on paper, they struggle. And Penn State is kind of the same way, right? Penn State, you can pencil them in for 10-2 every year. They're going to beat everybody, but they're going to lose to Ohio State and Michigan. So this one here is a key matchup for both programs, right? To show going forward, hey, where are we, who are we, and how do we stack up to actual good competition? Are we going to come in here and, just go down in a dumpster fire, or are we going to stand up and be the program that we think we are, and that we keep telling our recruits and our supporters and our alumni and everybody that we are? Who's going to show up? Penn State is giving 4.5. So again, Vegas and everybody is trying to say Penn State is a little bit more of the better team, probably based on defense. But Manny Diaz has left, right? He's off to be the Duke's new head coach. So he's gone. They brought in the old head coach from Indiana to be their new DC. But again, right, because of where we are, there's nothing they can do. So we'll see how the planning has gone with the interim defensive coordinator and how this offense is going to be. But going forward, I think Ole Miss is the better program stability-wise, because they're set where they are. They just have to finish better. Where Penn State, right, Franklin's kind of on the hot seat for his just thanks for making us a good team, but I don't know if we're ever going to be great. Offense has been terrible this year. They fired him. Defense was what helped them be competitive. He's gone now. Are they making the right choices, and can they be successful and take that next step going forward? Ole Miss has a better opportunity than Penn State does. But in this game, and where I live, I have to go with Penn State, because if I don't, some people will probably come after me. So we'll circle that one. So right now, Big Ten 2, SEC 0. Just going where we're at right now. And then later in the day, we have the Rose Bowl to end it off. The Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, orange, rose, color, fruit, flowers, whatever. The Orange Bowl, which is Georgia versus Florida State. So the two teams who thought that they deserved to be in the Final Four, who were not voted in, not selected in, are going to play in the Orange Bowl and kind of make their claim that, hey, you were wrong, we should have gotten in. I think Georgia has that mindset. Florida State, on the other hand, does not. They have had so many kids who have already entered the transfer portal or have just decided to not play because they feel they've been snubbed, which is, the New World Order of, I'm going to take my ball and go home, have really put their program and their teammates at a disadvantage and really kind of screwed them over. I understand everybody has to make their own decisions as far as health, career, finances. I understand all that, but to not do it because you're just upset that you didn't get voted in is, I think it says a lot about your character. And if anything, instead of saying, all right, I'm going to come in here and show that these guys are wrong, you're just saying, well, screw it then, I'm out. And it shows in the point spread. Georgia is giving 19 points. 19. I didn't stutter, at least on that time. 19 points. A team that is a two-time national champ, lost one game in the SEC championship, and didn't make it to the Final Four, versus a 13-0 ACC champ who didn't get voted into the Final Four, right? These are still basically your top 6 teams, right? This is 5 and 6 right here. For Florida State to be getting 19 points because of injuries, transfer portal, people opting out for the draft, people opting out because they're mad. I think that really says a lot about Florida State in the program. That this is where you've allowed it to. This should have been, you're saying we should have been in the playoffs, but we didn't. And now we're 19-point underdogs. Yeesh, that's not good. So for the first time, I'm going to give SEC. There you go. Georgia. Georgia's going to win that one because Georgia's going to show up and be irritated and ready to go. And Florida State, apparently half the school will be at home on their couches watching the game. And then the final non-playoff game, the Fiesta Bowl, which is our highly anticipated, right? And it's January 1st, right? The last 3 big ones, right? Fiesta, Rose, and Sugar are all on January 1st, right? Good old school, like it used to be. January 1st is bowl day, right? They're here now. So Fiesta Bowl is Liberty versus Oregon. And just to make a slight comparison here, Georgia and Florida State, right? Top 6 teams, 5 and 6 in the nation. Wanted to be in the playoffs, thought they deserved to be in the playoffs, didn't get in. 5 and 6. Florida State is getting 19 points. Liberty, a pseudo online school, versus Oregon and Nike University. Oregon is giving 17 points. I'll let that sink in again for a second, and I'll say it again. Florida State is getting 19. Oregon is giving 17 to Liberty. People think that the Liberty-Oregon game is a better matchup than the Georgia-Florida State game. People. Yeah. Oregon, because I'm dumb, not stupid. So in case you guys noticed, like I said, Friday starts everything off. We got the Cotton Bowl on Friday. We have the Peach and the Orange Bowl on Saturday, the 30th. And then the Sunday is the 31st because, again, math, that's how days work and numbers work. Sunday, there are no bowl games because it is NFL day. So they have, the monopoly on that day. So nothing there. And then, but much what I prefer anyway, Monday we get, New Year's Day and, the big bowl games. So we finish off with our Final Four, right? The Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Rose Bowl starts at 5 o'clock on Friday, or on Monday. Our Alabama versus Michigan, and it is Michigan is giving 1.5 points, which essentially in Vegas terms is kind of a push, right? It is close to a push as you're really going to get, as to them saying anybody could win. I will, I'm not going to deny or lie or hide it. I am a, Roll Tide supporter, Nick Saban supporter, really more than anything. So, and I think Harbaugh, again, right, he struggles in these situations. This is year 3 now that they have made the playoffs, and in the previous 2 seasons have been just smacked around. And, the first year they went up against Georgia. Georgia eventually goes on to win the national championship. And they just basically humiliate and make Michigan look like fools. Last year is the beginning of Spygate or Cardgate or whatever you want to call it, and they go down big against TCU, fight back, and then if anybody remembers the game, the last 2 minutes of the game, the just absolute, well, not actually before that, right? Because he wasn't using timeouts. Clock is running. He's wasting time. The play calls are terrible. The decision making is terrible. Like just the worst, like 4 or 5 minutes of college football that you can imagine offensively from a playoff team. Who thinks that they deserve to be, contending for a national championship. Just the worst decision making I've ever seen in my life, and lose there. And then this year they come back. Michigan has, obviously a phenomenal year. They're number one team in the playoffs now. Beat their rival Ohio State again. Soundly win the Big Ten championship, and are back here contending again. But is anything going to change? Their defense is great, and their offense is good because their defense is great and gives them the ball a lot and lets them be in control a lot and puts them in great field position, along with their special teams, but mostly it's their defense. So, and now they're going to go up against a Alabama defense that I think they're going to struggle with offensively. They're going to have problems with. You've given Nick Saban 3 weeks or so now to sit back and look at everything you do. That's never a good thing. And if the offense for Alabama runs like they did the last few weeks, I know everybody talks about the Auburn game, but that's a whole other creature unto itself. But the offense is clicking. They did a phenomenal job against probably one of the best defenses in the nation. Certainly this year, but if not within the last 10 years, one of the best defenses in the SEC championship game against Georgia, and were able to kind of do what they wanted as the game went on. So I know the SEC started out 0 for 2 here in my picks, but the last two have been definitely in their favor. So I have to do it, and I got to go Roll Tide on this one. So I just think that they're a better playoff team. I think Michigan is probably the better team overall, but I think in this situation where you have Nick Saban, who, this is just another year for him, right? This is just how Alabama works. I think he knows how to prepare for these moments better than Jim Harbaugh does. So I'm going to go with Alabama on that one. And then the nightcap to end it all and set up the national championship game. Who's going to punch their ticket in the Sugar Bowl? Texas versus Washington. Washington is getting 4 points. So, again, as it should be, it's kind of a pick-em, but a little bit more of the edge goes to Texas. And I don't think, at this point, location doesn't matter anymore. People who say, well, they're in the Sugar Bowl, they're in Louisiana, and they're closer to Texas, it's going to be a Texas crowd, and how well does Washington, travel in that? Washington actually travels very well, but I don't think that the location is a bonus to Texas because it's Texas football. Like, you were getting people anyway. It's like Steelers fans, right? It doesn't matter where the game is or who it is or when part of the season is. You go to some games in the NFL or watch some games in the NFL versus the Steelers in a away game. You're like, is this in Pittsburgh? And I mean, this is Texas football. It's a religion, right? So I think for this one as well, it somewhat comes down to experience and being able to be prepared and get the most out of your guys when you need them the most. I think Washington is probably the better team, slightly, but I think Texas is, one, going to win the game, but I think Texas will be better prepared for this environment, this matchup. This is what they've wanted. This is why they hired him, Steve Sarkisian. This is why they hired him. This is where they're working to. This was the purpose. And they did what they needed to do all year to get to this moment. And I think that they will be better prepared because Steve Sarkisian has been in these situations before as head coach in big games, as offensive coordinator. He was at Alabama for years. He's prepared for this environment, right? He knows the schedule to do things for your players, to keep things normal for them, and how things should be. Michigan or Washington is trying to figure a lot of this stuff out as they go. So I take Texas in this game for a lot of reasons. Not simply talent, right? Both teams are highly talented. Both schemes, offensively, defensively, special teams, are very well done and we're very well planned out and organized. But I think Texas gets the edge in this game because of the ability to have people on the staff go, we know how to do this and keep this as normal as humanly possible. So my New Year 6, right? Peach, Ole Miss, Penn State. We're going to go Penn State. Cotton Bowl, Missouri versus Ohio State. We're going to go Ohio State. Fiesta Bowl, Liberty versus Oregon. Just Do It. We're going to go with Nike in Oregon. The Orange Bowl, Georgia and Florida State. I don't know what the number of people on the Florida State sidelines is going to be. Hopefully it's at least 22 to 30. And so we're going to go with Georgia on that one. And then the Final Four, the big two, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Michigan. I'm going to go Alabama. And then Sugar Bowl versus Texas. I'm going to go Texas, which, if anybody, let me do some math here. Where's my assistant? My assistant is gone. He's walked away from me. We're going to go Alabama, Texas for the national championship game. We'll have a rematch of, when was that? 2008? Somewhere around there? Nick Saban's first national champ at Alabama. Could this be, I'll just say this now because I'm thinking about it, and this is how this program works. Stream of consciousness. If the national championship game is Alabama versus Texas, which was the matchup for Nick Saban's first national championship at Alabama, if he wins it, does he retire? And then his last national championship at Alabama is Alabama versus Texas? Circular? The end is the beginning is the end? I'm a great host. I'm just saying. Provocative questions and topics. So those are my picks. Alabama, Texas in the national championship game. That's what I'm going to go with. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree. And, hook 'em horns. Roll Tide. Well, that's all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was thought-provoking. I hope you go out and buy some Kinder Bueno and write them some letters to encourage to take me on as a sponsor and send me free stuff. I just want to say, for the end of the year here, I know we started late, and like I said, this being our 12th episode, but I do really appreciate everybody who's listened, who has talked to me about it, who's given me feedback, positive and negative, or just, whatever it happens to be. I really do appreciate it, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you guys did have a good holiday season. I hope you end the year right and start the new year correct as well. Be smart about it. If you're out there and you're having, you've had some drinks, just call an Uber or call somebody to get you home safe, right? It's, be responsible because you do have people counting on you out there. Thank you to all of our servicemen and women around the world who will not be home with their families, and even the ones that are home with their families. Thank you for what you do, especially the ones abroad. Thank you for everything. We do appreciate you guys, and I think about you all a lot. Like I said, it's earlier to start the show. It's been an interesting up and down few weeks for me, and some sad news the other day. But I had a very good friend tell me that it's, although it's difficult, they some people get to be together again, and I can't argue with that. So thank you to the person that gave me the advice, and to the people who are gone, thank you for everything, and we'll miss you, and hopefully I'll be able to make you guys proud still. But not to end on a downer, right? It's Happy New Year, right? It's Happy New Year. It's new beginnings. It's refreshing. So, I hope 2024 brings everybody success and happiness in whatever pursuits you're going with, whether it's career, family, love, whatever it is. I hope 2024 brings you everything you want. And I think every year people make resolutions to change themselves. Right? New Year, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm going to eat better, or I'm going to help the homeless, or I'm going to actually pet my cat more, whatever it happens to be. A lot of people have resolutions to change themselves. This year maybe your resolution should just be to be yourself, right? Embrace who you are, change the negative things, but also be happy with who you are. So you don't always have to change yourself. Maybe you should just be happy to be yourself. And tomorrow's never guaranteed for any of us. So make every day, the best day of the year. And, tell those that are important to you, that you love them. Spend time with those that really mean something to you. And, just be open and honest with people. It's okay. It's okay. People try to hide things. Just be open and honest. But yeah, if you care for somebody, spend time with them. Tell them you love them, because, like I said, tomorrow's never guaranteed. But again, thank you for everything. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited for the games this weekend. It's my favorite time of year. Just bowl games and the tradition that goes into it. This is, I think, we've discussed in other episodes where college football now has become its own business, and the old school traditions of what it used to be are dead. But I think this time of year and these bowl games is the last remnants we had to enjoy what once was, and just be kids again for a little bit and enjoy it. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be smart, right? Don't add to the population. Don't subtract to the population. If you end up in jail, assert dominance from day one. Enjoy. Good luck. Happy New Year. We'll check our results on the flip side. Dig in. Go Mules.